We'll start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunyama Devaः Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraः Stirairangaiः Suஷ்ठuvagumsascha Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuः Swasti na Indro Vrittashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षोररिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We are studying Mandukya Upanishad, the Shankara Bashyam. The first chapter, Agama Prakaranam. Mandukya Upanishad is the shortest Upanishad with 12 mantras. A very profound Upanishad loaded with meanings in 12 verses. So when you study this Upanishad, each verse, it takes a long time because Shankaracharya takes a lot of time to explain the verse. And today we are going to see the third mantra where we stopped last time. I will give you an overall view of this Upanishad first so that you understand where we are today and where we are going. In the vision of the Upanishad, there is one reality. That reality is called as Brahman or Turiyam. It is the substratum on which this entire universe which we experience, the waking state, the dream state, and the sleep states. These three states are projected by this substratum called as Atma or Brahman. You must understand this very clearly, otherwise you would not know what we are discussing. This grand picture of Mandukya Upanishad should be in your mind all the time whenever we are doing the study. So what is the grand picture? There is one consciousness reality. Consciousness means awareness. This awareness does not have a birth, it does not end. It is called as Anadi Anantam. Anadi means beginningless, Anantam means endless. So in this awareness, a jiva experiences the waking state, dream state, sleep state. Now the jiva is the vyashti or individual. This individual jiva cannot exist without the totality. The totality is called as samashti. For example, the vayu which we are breathing, air we are breathing, it is a part of the totality. Without that vayu principle, air principle, this body cannot survive. Water, body consists of 70% water. This water in this body is a part and parcel of the samashti water principle. Agni, we have digestive fire in our body. That digestive fire, there is a totality. Vaishwanaraha. We call it Vaishwanaraha. So there is a link between the individual and the totality. The totality is also arising from this consciousness, awareness. The individual is also rising from consciousness, awareness. The Upanishad wants us to shift our attention, identification from this body to that consciousness, from this waking state to that consciousness, from the dream state to that consciousness, from the sleep state to that consciousness. Consciousness is ever awake, never goes to sleep. In that, that is why it is called as substratum, adhishthanam. Like the space is this substratum for the entire objective universe. No object can exist without space. Space cannot exist without consciousness. This is the grand picture. All our efforts in these 12 mantras is to reach this consciousness and claim it as my nature. If you can do it with the help of 12 mantras, that then the job of the Upanishad is over. Because if you take yourself as this consciousness, you are ever free from sorrow in life. Sorrows belong to the Sukshma Shariram, which is the subtle body, the mind. The physical body is Sthula Sharira. It is also not my real nature. It is my nature, but it is a incidental nature. It has got Vyavaharika Satyam, but not absolute reality. The Upanishad takes three states of our experiences and analyzes these three states in the vision of the Upanishad, not our vision. Our vision is in the waking state, I'm a father, I'm a boss, I'm an employee, I'm a graduate, postgraduate, I'm rich, I'm poor. This is our vision. Upanishad does not take the vision which is shown to us by our five indriyas. It is trying to reveal to us something which our indriyas, which our sense organs cannot perceive. Now, in the first two mantras, what we have studied is the second mantra is the Mahavakyam. The first mantra says everything is Om. The whole universe is Om. Om means the sound symbol of this reality, which we are calling at consciousness. So Om is the sound, it is a symbol. So when you try to chant Om, you must remember the consciousness awareness principle, which is your own nature. It is possible. The Upanishad in the mantras in the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 mantras, it will teach us how to do Omkara meditation. So first mantra is, it is saying everything is Om. Om is the symbol. Second mantra says the meaning of Om is Brahman. Meaning of Om is Brahman, and Brahman or Atma is consisting of four quarters. Now, the third mantra, which is what we have started last week, I'm going to get into it now, is talking about the first quarter, first pada. What are the four padas, four legs on which the whole universe is standing? The first pada is the waking state, which is taken up in verse number 3. The second leg, second pada, is taken up in the fourth verse, which is the dream state. The third pada is taken up in the fourth, 3, 4, and 5. So, third pada is the sleep state. The sleep state has got two mantras, verse number 5 and verse number 6. So, three padas are covered. What about the fourth pada? The fourth pada is called as Turiyam or consciousness, which is discussed in verse number 7. Very clear, very easy to understand. First two mantras we have discussed. Omkara is everything. That Omkara is nothing but Atma, or we call it Brahman. At the individual level, we call it Atma. At the total level, we are calling it as Brahman. This Atma and Brahman is one reality. That is the Mahavakyam, that is the sentence in the second mantra. I am Atma Brahma. The Upanishad is trying to explain this Mahavakyam, the oneness between the jiva and the totality, which we are calling as Paramatma. Very profound universe, Upanishad, and a very, very intense study. You have to be ready to understand this Upanishad very, very well, so that when you study, don't bring any other thoughts in your mind. Let the thought of the Upanishad run in your mind. Don't ask the question, how is it possible? How is it really true? All those questions, you keep it away. Just study, just listen. Let the Upanishad come into your mind and you just listen to what the Upanishad is giving you about the vision of this world. The greatest vision which we need is the vision of our waking state, because this is where we spend most of our time and energy. Because the waking state is what we take it as absolutely real. We don't know anything else. We just go to sleep, we have some dreams, but we are not bothered about the sleep and the dream states. We take only the waking state as the reality. Today, Upanishad wants us to change this understanding at the intellectual level. You cannot change it at the physical level. Physical experiences will continue the same way as it was before the study. Now let us go into the slide where we stopped. This is the slide 137. This is the mantra which we are seeing. The first quarter is Vaishwanaraha. Vaishwanaraha is the name of that consciousness in the waking state. Each of these words, these are all technical words. Understand them technically, then you will have clarity in your understanding of the mantra. Is Vaishwanara, it is the same Turiyam consciousness, which is the pure consciousness. What is the meaning of pure consciousness? Consciousness without the conditioning of the universe. Universe is there, but it is backed by consciousness or awareness. Now we are saying that same consciousness is appearing as the waking state. Now we are talking about the state. We are not talking about the waking body. The whole state is this Turiya. Similarly, the whole dream avastha state is this Turiya. And the sleep state, yeah, again, I'm reminding you, it is not the body's experience of a particular sleep, but the whole state. It is a realm of experience. It is a field of experience. In the Bhagavad Gita language, it is Kshetram. 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Kshetram. And who is the Kshetrajna? Kshetrajna, the observer, is this consciousness. What does this consciousness experience in the waking state? It may sound very simple. All these verses may think, why are we studying like this? Of course, I know what I experience. I experience the external world of objects. But now, the Upanishad's vision is there are two aspects in this waking state. One is the individual, another is the total. The individual has got 19 has got 19 gateways to experience the universe. The totality, which is called as Ishwara, which is called as Paramatma, has got 7 limbs. What are those limbs? What are those 19? We will see. But what the Upanishad says is one consciousness with the help of 7 limbs is this universe. One consciousness with 19 gateways is the individual. It is the same consciousness which is appearing in this body-mind complex. It is the enjoyer of this world of gross objects in the waking state, according to the law of karma of the individual. For example, your experiences are very different than my experience. You may be in London, you may be in America, you may be in India, but I'm sitting here in Singapore. So our experiences are different. Why our experience different? Because of law of karma, which governs this entire universe. There is precision, there is extremely well planning in the execution and implementation of this projection of this consciousness. Very, very, cannot be another consciousness in this world. That's why it is called as Advaitam. There is no two consciousness, there is only one consciousness which is projecting this entire universe. Now, let us study the commentary of this verse. I'm going to take 3 sessions this week, next week, and the following week. There are 3 or 4 sessions I may require to explain one verse, because this verse consists of 70 slides. Almost 70 slides we have to see in order to understand the waking state. The third verse. Like usual, this is the word meaning, which is called as Anvaya. Okay? Which is quite easy to follow. For every verse, I will give you the Anvaya, the word meaning of the verse. And this is where the Bashyam of Shankaracharya begins. So this number 31 is the 31st mantra of commentary of Shankaracharya's Bhashyam. So this runs into several numbers for this one mantra. What does he say in the first 31st paragraph? Consciousness has the waking state as its place of operation. See, every word is very loaded. Consciousness has the waking state. Consciousness means Turiya Atma. And when it is got this state, it is called as Vakar Atma. That Vakar consciousness is turned outside, outward. Consciousness is one all pervading consciousness. But it is as though it is turned outside because of the body mind complex. See, in the waking state, I have a body and mind. Because with reference to the body, we say this consciousness is turned outside in the waking state. But in the dream state, what happens? The consciousness is turned inside, inwards. And in the sleep state, what happens? It is neither outside, it is neither inside, it is in its own nature. So, then it is experiencing the waking state, it is experiencing anatma objects, external objects. It is a seeming appearance because of ignorance about the nature of Atma. Avabhasate. Look at the last three lines. It is a seeming externalized consciousness owing to the error and ignorance. That means the jiva doesn't know the nature of this consciousness. Now you and I are trying to understand, oh, this is what is consciousness. It is all pervading consciousness. It cannot go outside or inside, but when I'm experiencing the body, it appears as if it is outside. When I'm experiencing the same consciousness in the dream avastha, it appears it is inside. For example, even in the waking state, your thoughts are inside. So that consciousness is appearing as thoughts, emotions, imaginations, visualizations. These are all inside. Inside what? Inside the body, external body. Now, this is what we are trying to understand first. There are many, many slides like this. Each slide has an explanation. I'm taking it extremely slowly because I know there are a few people who are beginners. I know there are some people who are very advanced and they are attending these sessions. Even for them, if you go slowly, you will enjoy it and you will get to the depth of the discussion. Consciousness associated with the waking state is Vakar Atma. So who are you? Suppose in the waking state, everybody, suppose spiritually, who are you? I am a male, I am a female, I have got this name. These are all okay. These are all with reference to the body. But spiritually, who are you? I am a waker. But is this waker a reality by itself? No. Waker is only an incidental thing. It just comes, but this waker is gone. In dream and sleep, this waker is no longer there. So, Jagarat Sthanam means it is a realm of experience, a field of experience. This consciousness has got a Maya Shakti, a power. Like you have a speaking, I have a speaking power, you have a listening power. This power cannot be seen. Your eating power, your holding power, your running power, your swimming power. All these powers are hidden in you. It is not visible. Only the expression of it is visible. So similarly, this Turiya consciousness, I'm going to use the word Turiya for consciousness because that is what the Upanishad uses in the seventh mantra. So whenever I say Turiyam, you must understand it means consciousness or awareness. So this consciousness has got a Shakti, a Maya Shakti. And because of this Maya Shakti, it can project anything. It can project Swarga. It can project heaven. It can project the Suryaha, the sun. It can project the stars. It can project the galaxies. It can project the whole cosmos, including you and me. Bahish prajna means consciousness turned outside. Swatma vyatirikta vishaye. These are all the words which I'm using. These are all the explanation of the paragraph. Whatever are the words which I put B, C, and all that, they are all words from the Shankaracharya's commentary. So we are discussing the words of the commentary. They all refer to one verse, one or the two words of the actual verse of the third mantra. So with reference to the Atma, what we are experiencing is Anatma. The consciousness at the individual level is called as Vishwa. Throughout the third verse, you must remember two words very, very well. Vishwa means individual consciousness. Virat or Vaishwanara means total consciousness, which is experienced in the whole universe, external universe. See, the consciousness is one, but it is taking two veshams, two dresses. It is a one consciousness appearing as the world, another appearing as this body-mind complex. In between the body-mind complex and the world, transactions are going on. We are studying the spiritual content in this universe. So in the dream, the consciousness is turned inwards. It is introvert. Some may ask this question, how can all pervading consciousness be turned inwards or outwards? Shankaracharya says, don't worry, I will explain to you. Consciousness with reference to this body is referred as outward consciousness or inward consciousness. Like you have space. Space inside your room is called room space. Space inside the pot is called pot space. Space outside is called total space. But the room space is nothing but it is total space only. Similarly, consciousness in your body, my body, is the same as total consciousness in the world. That consciousness is birthless. What gets born? Body gets born, mind gets born. It enters in the consciousness enters when the body is born. The consciousness just appears to enter. It appears to experience a few things in the world. When the body goes away, that experiences are gone. Again, another body will come, another experience starts. So, this is what is called as samsara. This is what is called as birth, death, rebirth, again death, again rebirth, again death. What is meaning of this entire cycle of samsara? Bahirvishaya eva prajnaha. Dakshinamurti Stotram says, same concept what I am explaining you is also explained in the first verse of Dakshinamurti Stotra. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam pashyannatmani mayaya. Here also you will see the word mayaya. Because of Maya Shakti, this world appears in a pluralistic form. Actually, what it is only one consciousness, one pure reality, but it appears in different ways. Like you see a city in a mirror. If you, I mean, I'm now explaining Dakshinamurti Stotra. Like you see a city in one mirror, the entire city is seen in one mirror. The entire world which you experience is actually seen in your mind, because all the sense organs are bringing in the inputs every second into your mind, and the mind is what is experiencing the world. The five sense organs, they are inputs. The five organs of actions are the output from your body. So this input output transactions are happening because of the sense organs and the mind and the sense objects outside. What the Upanishad wants us to understand, either now or slowly, as you dive more into the Upanishad, is it is because of this power of Maya Shakti, of that Brahman, which can project the whole universe. We also have in our own mind something called as avidya or mula avidya, which is called as ignorance. This is a Shakti. It belongs to what? That consciousness. Because it is covering the consciousness, I am not able to see the jiva in this body, is not able to realize the pure consciousness. Entire world is nija antargatam. It is actually inside. The whole world is actually inside our mind. But because of this Maya Shakti, it appears as if it is outside, like a magic show. A magician creates magic. Similarly, Lord creates this entire picture. That is way they will explain it in the third chapter. So, because of ignorance of Atma, Brahma Chaitanyam, because of the ignorance of this consciousness principle, avidya krita avabhasate, world appears to be superimposed on the Atma. What is the definition of Atma in Taittiriya Upanishad? The definition of Atma is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, or Sat Chit Ananda. That is the actual nature. Who are you? I am Satchidananda Swarupa Atma. That is the actual definition of who we are. Upanishad is trying to teach us this definition of myself. Like a dream world is projected out of the waker, similarly, the waking world is projected out of this Atma or consciousness. Waker is one, but the dream world is many. Atma is one, but the waking world is the world of plurality. So we have to rise to a higher level and then see the world without the three bodies or without the three prapanchas. The three words which are used in this mantra number 3 is Bahish Prajna, Avidya Krita, and avabhasate. Avabhasate means appearance. It appears. What appears? Consciousness appears as this world. Bahish prajna means what? It is appearing as though it is an external world. Avidya krita means what? It is appearing for the individual jiva who does not know that it is one Atma which is appearing as this entire universe. Okay, so far we have seen three words. Sapta Anga. This is the next word in the actual mantra. Upanishad now is going to give us a vision of Paramatma, the Lord of the Creator. What is his form as the entire cosmos? Number one. Then it will also tell us what is the structure of the individual jiva. The cosmos, the Paramatma, the Ishwara has got 7 limbs. Sapta Anga. First, it will talk about the totality. Ultimately, it will say this individuality is nothing but it is the totality. It will merge the individuality into the totality. Vishwa will merge into Virat. Taijasa will merge into Hiranyagarbha. Prajna will merge into Antaryami. I have explained these 6 words. When I started the Upanishad, I explained these 6 words. But don't worry, as we go through this verse number 3, 4, 5, you will get all these words very, very easily in your mind. Very easy. Now let us try to understand what are these 7 limbs of this Virat Ishwara. What is Virat Ishwara? It is the same as Vishwarupa Ishwara, which we all have studied in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11. Vishwarupa Ishwara. Now, in this mantra, what it says is the 7 limbs description is given. I will explain to you the description because when we go through the slides, you will be able to understand because all the 7 are very well captured. It will say, now, these 7 limbs, which is taken up here in Mandukya Upanishad, it is also referred in Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 5, the 18th section, second verse. I have put the verse below. This is the verse, Chandogya Upanishad. And in these 2 verses of Chandogya Upanishad, it explains to us how this whole cosmos is the body of Ishwara, the body of the Creator. I mean, in different ways, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, they explain to us this body of the universe. And then it will say that the different aspects of the universe are compared to the rituals which are done in the yajna. These are the 2 things which you have to remember. One is it will try to compare the 7 limbs with the ritual, and in a yajna, in a fire ritual, and also it will explain to us the body of the entire Vaishwanara Devata. As you go through this, you will understand more and more. So, what is this mainly for? In Chandogya Upanishad, the first 5 chapters, that there are total 8 chapters in Chandogya. Mandukya is taking the 7 limbs which are given in Chandogya Upanishad. So those of you who are interested to know a little bit more about this have to go and study these 2 mantras of Chandogya Upanishad. The mantras are meant for upasana, meditation. So when I meditate on the Lord, the Creator in this format, my mind will be able to expand its vision, expansion of the mind. See, to understand this consciousness, mind needs 2 things. It needs a focusing capability. It also needs the visualizing capability. In order to get the visualizing capability of the mind, they prescribe meditations. That is why at the end of Mandukya sessions, I am having meditation sessions because it will make your mind expand and also it will help you to focus, concentrate. Now, in this Upasana, the first 5 chapters are all meditations in Chandogya. In there is one student in Chandogya who says, I have meditated on one limb of Virat. The teacher says that is not correct because there is no use to meditate on only one of the 7 limbs. You should concentrate on the entire Virat Ishwara. That means you should concentrate on the totality rather than on a specific limb. For example, if you touch, there are 4 legs of the elephant. If you touch the elephant's feet, somebody will say it is a wall. Somebody will say it's a pillar. Somebody will say it's a trunk of a tree. So different possibilities are there when you're looking at the individual. But if you see the elephant as a whole, you'll get the total visualization of what that animal is. The guru in Chandogya Upanishad is called as Kshatriya Prabhahana Javalihi. He says, look at Turiyam, not conditioned as Virat, Hiranyagarbha, or Antaryami. This is what is important to us, this sentence. What does this mean? What is the Karanam? What is the cause of this Virat? What is the Virat means the totality experienced in the waking state. What is the cause which is experienced in the dream state of the totality of the dream world? Similarly, Antaryami, the sleep. What are the 7 parts? Here I have said Virat, Vishwanara, Virat, Vishwarupa, Ishwara, they are all synonyms. They all mean the same. And in chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, you get the details of this Vishwarupa Ishwara. What are the 7 parts of this Ishwara? The head is the Swarga Loka. The eyes are the Surya, the 2 eyes, Surya and Chandrama. Prana, the breath, the Vayu, which you see the external air principle is nothing but the breath of that Ishwara. Agni means the fire principle is the mouth of Ishwara. Akasha, the space which you see is the central body. That means like the chest. The bladder is the ocean. The legs are the Prithvi. That means the earth. Now the head is compared to the Swarga Loka because it is bright Loka. Swarga means it is bright Loka. It is brilliant. Brilliance is the nature of Swarga Loka. The sun with the seven colors, the rainbow which comes, that sun, which has got the one light which comes out as seven different colors, that is nothing but it is Surya Devata. See, we only see the sun, but then look at this description of the Upanishad. It says it is a Devata. So, and this Devata, the sun is nothing but the eye of that Virat Ishwara. Through this eye, it is seeing the entire universe. Vishnu Sahasranamam, many of you are very familiar with this chanting of Vishnu Sahasranamam. In Dhyana Shloka number 2, Bhupado Yasya, this mantra is the same description of Vaishwanara which we are seeing. In Vishnu Sahasranamam, we say that the Lord Vishnu is the Lord of three worlds. Which are the three worlds? The earth is one world, which is his feet. Air is another one. The sky is his belly. Moon and sun are the eyes. Four directions are the ears. The gods, the Swargaloka is his head. Fire is his mouth. The sea, ocean is his stomach. You can see the similarity between Vishnu Sahasranamam and Mandukya Upanishad. Seven limbs are the seven limbs which are described in Vishnu Sahasranamam. And who are we? The men, birds, animals, serpent, all these are one who are in the belly. We are playing and enjoying this world. We are playing in this yoni. Pranaha prithak vartma atma. The name of prana, vayu, which moves in different directions, the southwest, the northeast monsoon winds, these are nothing but it is that Vaishwanara Devata. It is the breath of Ishwara. The thunderstorms is like the big breath of Ishwara. Wind is all pervading. The Lord is all pervading. The central body of Ishwara is the space. The entire space which we experience, the Akasha, it is also vast. So his body is also vast. So Taittiriya Upanishad has another upasana in the first chapter. Again, a very similar upasana. I have brought up all these verses so that you can see the similarity of how all these are talking about one common principle, which is the Lord, which is the creator, and it is appearing as this entire universe. See, you can substitute in your meditation. You can use any of these verses for meditation. You can see the similarity. In Taittiriya Upanishad, it says Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. Suvaha means sun. The air principle is called Bhuvaha. The fire principle is called as Bhu. Where is this? What is this principle? It is self-effulgent. It is bright and it is shining because it is consciousness. And it is the Lord of all the minds, because all the minds are every day they are lit up by this consciousness. And through the mind, all the powers to the sense organs they come. It becomes the Lord of the ear, it becomes the Lord of the speech, it becomes the Lord of your hands, your legs, everything. So through this methodology or visualization or imaginations, we are trying to understand the immortal nature of consciousness. See, individual body can be mortal, but then when it comes to the universe, it remains for millions of years. That universe which remains for millions of years is nothing but the body of this Virat Ishwara. So Akasham Sharira Brahma, that is what is referred here. That is the Taittiriya Upanishad. And it also has the similar head, eye, mouth, breath, central body, bladder, and the legs. Legs are the Prithvi, all the seven angas, now you know. Now, the second portion of this mantra, it tries to compare the fire ritual with the various parts of this Virat Ishwara. Now, in Chandogya Upanishad, there is a reference. There is a reference which I will try to give you later. The reference number I don't have it readily, but in Chandogya Upanishad, the Avahaniya Agni is the mouth of Ishwara, Virat Ishwara. This is again only it's only a imagination for upasana purpose. So those who are interested in upasana can go into the details of this. But what is comparable? What the details of this are given in two places. One is Chandogya Upanishad, another is Prashno Upanishad, where the Agni principle, fire principle, is divided into three parts, three types, three names are given to Agni. One is what is called as Garhya Patni Agni. Second is called as Avahaniya Agni. And the third Agni is called as Dakshina Agni. Now, these Agnis are used in rituals. 90% of the rituals are done through this Avahaniya Agni. What is this? What are the three Agnis? I will just tell you in short. Now, this comes in Prashno Upanishad. Whenever a couple gets married, during the marriage, there is a ritual where a fire is kindled during the marriage ceremony. It is called as Garhya Patni Agni, which means it is the protector of the house of the couple. Now, this fire is supposed to be kept in the house throughout the life of the couple. Without this, I'm telling you, in the olden times, in the Vedic times, nowadays people can't keep this. Nobody keeps it. It is this is the Vedic explanation. What happened in the Vedic times? So at the beginning, the couple, when they get married, they have Garhya Patna Agni, which has to be maintained, which is the protector of the house, which has to be kept without it losing the flame. From this Agni, for the rituals, you see, the Grihasthas are supposed to do rituals. Different samskaras are there. When the child is born, you're supposed to do ritual, so many different rituals. For different rituals, Homa Kunda is ignited. The fire from this Garha Patni Agni is taken and another fire is set up in the Homa Kundas during the rituals. That is called as Avahaniya ritual. Then the third Agni is called as Dakshina Agni. Dakshina Agni is for special rituals meant for Pitrus. Whenever you do a ritual for Pitrus, we take the from the Garhya Patni Agni, again we take we create that Homakunda Avahaniya. From Avahaniya, we take the Dakshina for the Pitru Karmas. This is the broad, but details are given in chapter 4, Prashno Upanishad. The first 3-4 mantras deal with this. And how they are compared to the pranas, individual pranas is given there. Individual prana means the pancha pranas, how the different fires are compared to the five pranas. Prana, apana, samana, vyana, udana. Now here, this Virat Ishwara is nothing but it is the Avahaniya Agni, which is used in the rituals. That is the mouth of Virat. That is all we need to know as far as this is concerned. Now, next comes the 19 gateways. Now we have left the macro, which is the Sapta Anga, 7 limbs. We are coming into micro, which is Ekona Vimshati Mukha. Mukhani Asya. So what is the first one? The baker Brahman was the first description of the baker. Ishwara is the description of the 7 limbs. Now we are studying the limbs, the 19 limbs of the individual jiva. Very easy to understand. You don't get, see, we are only studying the universe consisting of macro and micro. Now, what are the 19 counters through which the jiva is experiencing the world? What are the 19 counters? 5 jnana indriyas, 5 karma indriyas, 5 prana, manaha, chitta, buddhi, ahankar. See how beautiful the Upanishad is. In one verse, it is covering the entire experiences of the all the jivas and the entire macro Paramatma. One verse. That's why I said these are all packed verses. But Shankaracharya is there to give us the commentary. So we are able to analyze these mantras in such great detail. You'll see more details coming in. Very, very beautiful details. In all these mantras, 4, 5, 6, and 7, big commentaries are given by Shankaracharya. Now, inputs and output. The input is given by jnana indriyas. And the output means whenever I get the input, I hear the sound of somebody calling me. Output is what? I go running to that person through my legs. So output is through the karma indriyas. Input is through the jnana indriyas. And output and input, they all make transactions for the entire universe. And this input output are maintained only because of two things, prana and manaha. Prana means it is the pancha pranas, which is the maintenance part of the body. Without this maintainer, your body cannot breathe. Without digestion, your inhalation, exhalation cannot happen. Just if you study the Prashna Upanishad, you will get very beautiful details of this aspect of digestion, circulation, uh, uh, the inhalation, exhalation. All these details are very beautifully explained in Prashna Upanishad. So Eko Vimshati Mukhani Yasya means that it consists of the counters by which the individual jiva interacts with the world. The prana energize the jnana indriyas and karma indriyas. So what is the role of prana? Prana, because of prana only, because of the inhalation and exhalation of the Vayu Tattvam, your indriyas, your ears, your eyes, everything is working. The power is coming from the prana. That is why if you do pranayama in yoga, all your indriyas, they work very well. Without prana, the eyes have got no energy. there is a commentator of Shankaracharya's Bhashyam. His name is called as Satchidananda Saraswati. He has written a commentary of Shankaracharya's Bhashyam. And there he mentions this aspect that without prana, the eyes can't see. The prana controls the power of the eyes, the power of the ears, the power of all the organs, including your leg and your hands. Now, next comes the four antakaranam. What are the four antakaranams? Mind, which is a doubting faculty. Many people have this confusion. What is the mind and what is the intellect? Here, very beautifully, Shankaracharya explains. Whenever your mind is saying, shall I go to the class? No. Shall I eat today bread or shall I eat rice? Again, this is a confusion. That time it is called as the mind. Suppose you say, I'm going to have bread. It is the intellect which is working. Buddhi. Assertion faculty, it eliminates the doubt. What is the ahamkara? Ahamkara is the coordinating factor for all the five jnana indriyas and karma indriyas. It is one eye which hears, which sees, which smells, which tastes, which lifts the things. One eye. That I is called as ahamkara or the ego. What is chittam? Chittam means memory. I know I eat the food in the plate, but not the plate. It's because of memory. I have eaten for so many years. So with 19 counters, the waker eye contacts the material universe, which is called as Sthula Prapancha, and he experiences a thought world which is called as Sukshma Prapancha. The Sthula Prapancha is made up of five gross elements. The five elements: fire, air, earth, all this you know. Now, Sukshma Prapancha, Sukshma, the mind consists of the thought world. Now, it is generated because of the vasana in the mind. Vasana is a portion of causal body. It is a portion of Maya Prapancha. You can't see it, invisible. But the effect of that you can see, which is the mind. Now, Eko Vimshati portion is over with this description. Saha Sthula book is the next word which we are going to analyze. Sthula book. What is the meaning of Sthula book? The Vaker Atma, endowed with this Virat, which we have described, experiences the gross world of sense objects and not the internal universe, which is made up of thoughts. Sthula book means experiencer of the gross universe. So who is the experience of the gross universe? It is this consciousness which is called as Virat. Who is the experiencer of the internal world of thoughts? That we will see next. Vaishvanara is the waker portion of the entire gross world. Vishwa is the small individual portion. So the experiences, Shabda, these Sthula Bhungte, experiences are joy and sorrow, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, these are all the fivefold objects in the universe. Experiencer of the gross world of the universe is this Sthula book. So we have finished 5 words of the mantra. Jagrati sthanaha, bahish prajnaha, sapta anga, vichati mukha, sthula book. Now this is the revision portion. I will also take a little bit because some of this may be easier for you to understand. Chatushpat Atma Vichara is what we are doing now. Atma Vichara and Omkara Vichara. What are we doing now? Atma Vichara. In Atma Vichara, what are we studying? There is one consciousness called as Atma. That consciousness is with the prapancha and without the prapancha. Please understand this very, very carefully. These are all the intricate details of the study of Mandukya. These notes are very precious. They are, if you understand these notes, moksha, your understanding of Atma is very simple. You will enjoy the study of the chapter 2 and chapter 3 of this Upanishad, when you understand it such detail. Saprapancha Atma means what? Consciousness which is associated with the three padas. What are the three padas? Waking, dream, and sleep. Waking means what? Through the Sthula Sharira, the first pada. Sthula Sharira means what? The gross body, which consists of gross body of the individual and gross body of the total. Individual means Sharira. Total means Prapancha. That is the first pada. Sukshma Shariram and Prapancha is the second pada. That is the dream. And the Karana Shariram and Karana Prapancha is the third pada. Third leg of this consciousness. Does the consciousness only experience waking, dream, and sleep? That's a question you should ask. The answer to that is, this is only the three legs of one consciousness, but that consciousness also exists by itself, which is called as Nishprapancha Atma. Nishprapancha means what? Without the association of the prapanchas or the world, that aspect of consciousness is the fourth pada. That is the timeless portion. That is what we experience in our sleep state. That is what is called as Turiya Avastha. In time, we experience Sthula, Sukshma, Karana. But timelessness we experience in the Turiya Avastha. The fourth pada is Prapanchatraya Rahita Kevala Chaitanya. Very important sentence. Keep this in your mind. What is Turiyam definition? Definition of Turiyam, which is my real nature. Throughout the Upanishad, what did you learn? Suppose somebody asked you, tell me in one sentence. You went and attended Mandukya Upanishad. What did you understand? One sentence. You should not talk about Ishwara, Virat, all that. Only thing you should say is, I am Turiya Atma. When you say I am Turiya Atma, it includes everything. Because Turiya Atma is the Karana, is the Nishprapancha Atma. This word is very beautiful word. It can take you directly to the meaning of Atma, which is your experience in the sleep state. What is your experience in the sleep state? I am of the nature of Kevala Chaitanya. Pure consciousness is my real nature. What about this waking, dream, and sleep? It just comes and goes, comes and goes. It is coming in consciousness and resolving in consciousness. The first pada is explained in verse 3. Sthula book means experiencer of the gross material universe. Sukshma thoughts are experienced by which will be explained in the second pada. The Eko Vimshati Dwara means the 19 counters, and now next after this we are going to study what is the nature of this Lord, which we are calling as Virat. This is a nice description which Shankaracharya gives us. Now, here he tells us why each individual is experiencing a different world. Why? He says, this Lord, which is Vaishwanara, he is the Phaladata. Phaladata means what? He gives us the fruit of actions for all our actions. Anekada. Anekada means in different living beings, according to their experiences, the experiences will come and go in an individual according to the actions performed by that individual in state. That Lord is called as Vaishwanara. Now you can see the definition of that Virat Devata. So what is Virat Devata? It is the one who gives the phalam for all the human beings. And it is he himself appearing in the form of every waker jiva. Because it is just a reflection of that Ishwara only. We are all part and parcel of that one totality, which is Virat. Through the first mantra, Shankaracharya wants us to drop our identification with this individual body and mind and connect with that Ishwara, which is the totality. Because Ishwara is everything. Lord of the universe is the Lord which is giving me all my experiences. So, who do I pray? I may pray to Lord Rama or Krishna or Shiva or Muruga or Ganesha or Devi. But all these are only names and forms of that one Ishvara, which is the Karma Phaladata. Names are different, but the Lord is only one. When we go to pray in the temple, automatically our eyes close. Our eyes close. You go to Tirupati also, our eyes will close automatically because that Lord is inside us. I cannot see. I may go traveling for 8 hours, 10 hours. I can go to, I can go trekking for so many days. But ultimately, when you reach that Ishvara, automatically your eyes will close and it will search for that Ishvara inside you. That Ishvara is inside you. Why? Because he is the controller of your experiences of joy and sorrow. So the two derivations of Ishvara are given in this paragraph by Shankaracharya. God is, or Ishvara, is the one who gives the experiences to the jiva. Second derivation of Vaishwanara is also, he is appearing in the form of living beings as a material cause of the jiva. That means what? The Panchabhutas, which is the material cause, is nothing but Ishvara only. It takes the jivas to different directions to experience the relevant world according to the phalas. Now, I will stop here. I will continue this verse, this particular slide next week. The time is up for today. It's a very beautiful description of the first verse. 60, 70 slides are there. I will take another three sessions to finish this waking state description, which is verse number 3. Just let the ideas come in from Shankaracharya. Let us just absorb whatever we can absorb. And let us look at it in the way Shankaracharya wants us to understand Mandukya. Okay? They are very deep, analytical, very, very beautifully structured presentations. The notes are fantastic. Go through them. After you have gone through these talks, you will find it very easy. And you yourself will get a picture of the Mandukya. Okay, so with this, I will close the Mandukya session. Oh, oh, Namada, oh, Namidam, Purna, Purnamudachade, Purnasya, Purnamadhaya, Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We'll see the chat box if there are any questions. There is a question here from Amini Suvedi. Doesn't the fourth pada include the three padas? Shouldn't we consider Saprapancha as being realized by Nishprapancha? If this is so, why do we speak of Nishprapancha as a separate or fourth limb? Good question. See, initially, a seeker, when he comes to the Upanishads, he doesn't know the pure Atma. He doesn't know the Turiya Atma at all. So Upanishad takes the compassionate ground and it comes to the level of a student. So it starts with the waking state. It goes to the dream state, it goes to the sleep state. So these are the three legs, which is Saprapancha. That means consciousness with the world. Then the Upanishads goes to the seventh mantra, where it says there is another reality, which is Nishprapancha. Nishprapancha means Turiyavastha. That is what we are in our sleep state. We are Turiya. All of us have the experience of Turiya. Pure consciousness, I exist. Only thing is, I don't know that is my real nature. So your question is, the fourth pada, doesn't it include the three pada? The answer is yes. The fourth pada is not the fourth pada. It is the totality of the first three padas. It is the only pada. That is what is going to be explained to us in the seventh mantra of the Upanishad. We are in the third mantra. Third mantra deals with the waking state experiences. Fourth mantra, dream state. Fifth mantra and the sixth mantra, the sleep state. Each state we will analyze very, very carefully. The Upanishad wants us to analyze. So first part of your question, doesn't the fourth pada include the three padas? Yes, it does. Shouldn't we consider Saprapancha as being realized by Nishprapancha? Yes, that is also correct. Nishprapancha is the consciousness. It is realizing the three Saprapanchas, which is waking, dream, and sleep. If this is so, why do we speak of Nishprapancha as a separate? I explained to you because we, as a when we are a junior seeker, till we come to know there is something called as the Kevala Chaitanyam, pure, independently existing principle, by knowing which I get the final Purushartha, which is moksha. All of us can get it because it is our own nature. Upanishad is trying to tell us that this is what is you. You drop your identification. It is possible to drop the identification, but when? Not in the sleep state, in the waking state. In the waking state, pure understanding of Mandukya Upanishad will give me the technique to get rid of all sorrows in life. Arjuna had to go through 701 verses in Bhagavad Gita to understand the same Atma, which Mandukya is teaching us in 12 verses. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad, there are hundreds of verses. Ultimately, the purpose is the same. It is to teach us the same Nishprapancha Atma. Very, very well understood. I think you have understood the message. Therefore, your questions are extremely good, and you have the answer. I know if you are getting your doubt clarified, which is good. So, Amini, have I answered your question? Shanmugam is going to unmute all of us, and you can unmute yourself and speak. Yeah, Amini. Okay, I don't see him here. Um, you can probably type a message in the chat box in case you're not able to. Okay, I see your message. Thank you. Next is there's no specific question. If there is a specific question, Raghu is putting up his hand. Go ahead, Raghu.
Sir, this Turiya, at least up to some concept, we can now understand. The fourth, fourth state, which you have told, we have to ignore in the first state. In the waking state, only we have to take care of this state. But my question is not related to this. It is regarding the Prashna is equal to that Gardha Patni Agni.
Correct.
So my question was that the olden days they may be able to preserve this Agni, but presently not possible. You also feeling, but where they able to invoke that particular type of Agni in those days, if that was to be preserved for long, I am just foreseeing that they able to provide or bring that type of Agni every time. Can you just comment? It's just a big question. I'm just trying to accept how they're able to preserve this for a long duration. And
okay,
they are
okay.
talking about a particular type of Agni.
That's correct. Yes.
We can invoke Agni. That is, I can just feel that they will be able to provoke Agni. But that particular type of Agni, how they are able to, any reference is there at any place? Or,
Yeah, you see, in Prashna Upanishad, in chapter 4, verse number 3, some details you will get. In Prashna Upanishad, they refer to one Chandogya Upanishad section where these Agnis are again. So you can go through that section of Prashna Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad to understand this better. The main thing you should understand is in the olden days, it was possible to keep a fire at home in a corner burning throughout the life. It was possible in the olden days because it was a joint family system and people could maintain a flame in the house. Now, this flame, which is called as Garhya Patni Agni, it is specially kindled during the marriage and with chanting of mantras. It has got a very powerful, it has got a very, it is very powerful because it is kindled with help of a certain Homakonda, the size, the shape, everything is very, very special. All these are, you can get details of, maybe if you Google, you can find out Garagha Patni Agni details in the Google. See, now Google is famous for everything. So it might give you more references to all the three, Avahaniya Agni, Garga Patya Agni, and the third Agni is Dakshina. You see, for example, Dakshina Agni is compared to the pranas in our body, and I can't, I won't go into the full detail because I have to give you a full picture in order to give. But just to summarize, it was possible in the past to maintain these agnis, and the Vedic people were very ritualistic. So all the rituals were the fire for the rituals were taken from that Garha Agni at home. So whenever there was a ritual, they used to go to the light, to that particular light, which was continuously maintained. So that fire, which was Garga Patni Agni, used to protect the house and help the ritualist to continue maintaining all the rituals throughout his lifetime. That Garga Patni Agni used to be the last flame for that person in the cremation ground also. The fire from that used to cremate the body also. You see, these are all very fine details you can find in the Vedic period. Uh,
I'll,
Good
I'll,
question. You can
I'll
study
definitely.
this on your own.
What I am doing is I also purpose of experience. I'm making myself clear that I was not aware of such type of Agni, particular type of Agni. What I
Yeah,
thought Agni is Agni Devata where we can invoke and
that's correct. You see, ultimately, you should remember it is a Devata. It is a Devata. In the Vedic principle, in the Vedic period, the Devatas were controlling the entire life. All the rituals which people did was all with the help of Devatas and so on. So anyway, I think I've answered your question. Thank you. Thank you, Raghu. Shama, I did have some point we are doing the class, but after the meditations, I have no questions. Wow, that's good. Uh,
Shall I read it for you?
no, I've got, you can read it, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just really no questions, such a profound experience, and what a wonderful way to lead lost souls to the right path. I almost feel what questions, at least definitely not for some time. Thank you so much.
Good. You see, these meditations are very powerful, and it can burn the doubts in your mind. That is the power of these meditations.
My divided mind, and my the internal war, it will come back, but for the mount, it is suspended.
That's correct. It's because the power of meditation. You see, the meditation is extremely powerful. Repeat this if you like the meditation. Try to repeat this in your own free time. Okay, okay, Shama. Thank you. Shanta, you have a question?
Yes. I think, you mentioned about it was quite vast information, a lot of information I felt today in different forms, but telling the same thing about the gross, right? The waking
Yes.
state. Now, when we went through the individual and the samashti,
Yeah.
it was about this the seven limbs when we described in Sahasranama, where it is the Vishnu's body and everything, and the world is in Vishnu's or Bhagwan's, or in this Maya Shakti's womb or the stomach. But when we start separating the two, is it right to say that ultimately, because we are walking on the stage or walking towards saying that everything is Maya Shakti and it's nothing real, it's projection. So when we start doing it for our own selves as an individual, our seven limbs and our stomach and everything, our body and eyes, um, how would that then? I was just thinking, just like how the manas, all the manas are connected to Hiranyagarbha, right? Um, So all the Atmas or Jivas become the Atma or the Brahman. So how would you then, get the gross division of the gross body and division of the jagat? Because um, there cannot be the separation, because that is the whole gross has to be, individual gross is consisting of your body, and whether it is stomach or whether it is the legs or arms, it cannot be
Yes.
separate when you're doing, just if you have to do it like mana and individual mana and hiranyagarbha. Is that right to the way thinking, or there
Yeah.
is
See,
still a
see,
division?
the beauty of your questions, Shanta, is you are always one step behind the Upanishadic uh, talk, which is going to come next week. Your question is answered next week in the
Okay.
slides.
Okay, I'll
Uh,
wait.
I'm very happy because your thinking mind is where the Upanishad is trying to explain, and the same question which you're raising is being answered by the Upanishad itself, which means your thought process is very good. See, the Upanishad is saying that the at the Vachyartha level, at the literal level, it is not oneness. Virat
Yeah.
and Vishwa, the totality and the individual, it will come in the next few slides. This question will be answered. There will be a question which Shankara himself will raise. How is it possible that the Virat and Vishwa, how can they be equal? Then Shankaracharya says, don't take it at the Vachyartha level. You go to the Karana level, the Lakshartha level.
Lakshartha level.
At the Karyam level, everything will be different. At the product level, everything will be different. Your
Different.
body is different than my body is different than the Rob's body or Jacqueline's
Yeah.
body. At the Karyam, these are all at the product level, like clay
Like
and pot.
chain and
The,
yeah, or
the
ring
pots are
gold.
many,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
but it's
when you
clay.
when you come at the Karana level, Karana
Mm.
means at the Lakshyartha level.
Lakshartha level.
At the higher level, when everything merges into Virat, that is the Upanishad will teach us how I can merge the Vishwa into Virat.
Virat.
Just wait for
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Your question is the same question which the Upanishad is going to answer.
Okay.
The
Then you
answer
wait.
is Vishwa has to merge in the Virat.
Virat.
That
Yeah.
is what Shankaracharya says is the purpose of the third mantra.
Okay.
All of us should know how I can drop this body
Mm.
and merge with the totality.
Totality.
But it
Yeah.
cannot be done at the Vachyartha level, at the
Mm.
level, it cannot be. It has to be done at the Lakshyartha. The
Lakshartha.
jiva at the Lakshyartha level is this consciousness.
Mm.
The content of the jiva is consciousness.
Mm.
The adhishthanam of the shariram is this consciousness,
Consciousness. Yeah.
which is what Shankaracharya is going to summarize right at the end of the third verse, which is where your questions are getting your thinking process is beautiful. How
But
is
I've
it
got one more
possible?
further question on this, because when you start saying that the jiva will get into the Atma or Brahman, but the jiva itself is the reflected consciousness. So how will that happen? I mean,
Yeah,
is it?
yes, it is the reflected consciousness, but at the moment it doesn't know. That is why these
Okay.
questions are coming. The
Okay.
mind doesn't
Mm.
understand that reflected consciousness correctly.
Mm.
The moment that Mahavakyam is understood, that means your mind is able to drop the body
Mm.
at the physical level, at the individual level, drop the Lord's body at the gross level,
Gross
look
level.
at the consciousness, which is the cause of this two, then you will be able to uh,
Mm.
understand the oneness.
Okay. Okay, I'll wait for next week's
Yeah,
lecture.
you will
Yeah,
get it. You will get it. But just wait
yeah,
for the end of the
yeah,
mantra. Your question
mm,
is answered. At
yeah,
the end of the third verse, you again remind me if you have not understood it,
yeah,
I will explain to you. There are another
yeah.
30,
So will
40
that
slides. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But will that then take me to the next thinking of this? When we talk about the gross, yes, the waking state, we will merge, or we will, come to it. But when it comes to the jiva, which we have learned as it's a reflected consciousness, it's um, and because the Atma is, or the Brahman is one, and you cannot have two. There is no Dvaitam there, because, and therefore, this is just our understanding that there is Dvaitam. There is my Atma, your Atma, and everybody's Atma, but Atma is one, and what we have is reflected consciousness. So, will we also? I mean, at what stage? I know I'm asking this question, but in what stage in Mandukya Upanishad will that
Seventh mantra.
dropping? Okay,
Seventh mantra.
okay.
In the seventh mantra,
Mm.
it will explain to you how all the six names,
Names. Okay.
Vishwa Virat,
Mm.
Taijasa
Taija,
Hiranyagarbha,
Hiranyagarbha.
Prajna
Ishwara.
Antaryami.
Mm.
The six names are all
Mm.
reflected consciousness.
Mm.
They do not have an independent existence
Mm.
apart from
Brahman.
Turiya Atma.
Turiya, Atma. Okay. I will wait for
Because
the
they
seventh
don't
mantra
have
then.
independent existence, they are called as Mithya.
Mm.
What is Satyam is Turiya Atma.
Turiya Atma. Okay.
So you have to go to the level of Mithya and Satyam.
And Satyam.
Only when you do this Mithya Satyam transformation in the end, then only you will be able to merge.
Mm.
Not only merge, you will always be able to abide in it. See, the thing is, one time you may be able to merge, but
Mm.
ultimately you have to abide in that Atma throughout your life.
Mm.
And that will come through the seventh mantra, followed by the Karikas.
Mm.
The Karikas will help you to see the seventh mantra will tell you finally how the whole universe is one
One
consciousness.
God.
And but then you will be able to understand, accept it, but you won't be able to abide in it. That
Mm.
means your
It's
mind will
yeah.
keep
It become very
fluctuating
bookish.
between
Yeah. Yeah.
Turiyam and Vishwa again and again.
Mm.
In order to for the vacillation to stop,
Mm.
you do the second and the third chapter.
Okay.
Okay,
So I have
good.
to. Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a
Yeah.
slow learning.
Yeah.
Just take it as it comes, and
Mm.
you will see a lot of changes which will happen in your understanding. Lot of
Mm.
changes. Every talk will be full of knowledge
Mm.
because we are doing Shankaracharya Bhashyam. Shankaracharya Bhashyam means it's
Yeah.
in-depth knowledge of Atma.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
good.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, Rob, I will send you a link with all the 135, 140 meditations. If you are, because you asked me in private also some questions on meditation. The meditations in the beginning are, they are all gradually, they are shifting to higher and higher levels. So you can take a few sessions, you can listen to it yourself. You get attuned to the Vedantic thinking first. Okay. Then what will happen is you will be able to practice it yourself. Okay. These are all 10-minute meditations, but very powerful. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else has a question? Bharat, yeah, go ahead.
Namaste, Shakaji. Can you hear me okay? Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. It was a very interesting answer that you gave to Shantavan. I just wanted to say that as powerful as Mantra 7 is, where the Upanishad brings everything together, the second mantra is a Mahavakya, and it makes it very clear that all this is Brahman and Atman is Brahman, and the four padas, it's seemingly like that. It feels like there are these four quarters. Mantra 2 explains that. So everything that happens in mantra 3 onwards, it it feels like that, but mantra 2 shows the Mahavakya, the identity between Atman and Brahman, which is what we are.
Yes, correct. That's correct. This is the most trickiest portion of the Upanishad. How Atma can be equated to Brahman and how Atma can be merged with Brahman. This is the last frontier. In Vedanta, this is the last frontier. Shankaracharya very, very beautifully does this in the third chapter of the Mandukya Upanishad. In Advaita Prakaranam, in Advaita section, the third chapter, so beautifully he takes this Atma portion and then he says how Brahman is also consciousness, Atma is also consciousness, and a jiva, unless until he does this in his own mind of this oneness, he will always feel Dvaitam. Advaitam
I
is when this jiva understands it is nothing but that pure consciousness, which is the cause of this universe. You see, Brahman means what? Brahman means it is the cause, it is the karanam of this universe. In my jiva analysis, where do I end? I have dropped the panchakoshas, I have dropped the three sharirams, and then I have understood I am the Atma, the substratum of this body-mind complex. Up to that level, I have come. But what you are saying is absolutely correct. The jiva, Atma, the second mantra, which says, I am Atma Brahma. The Mahavakya portion means you have to employ the technique of Bhaga, Tyaga, Lakshana. No Mahavakyam is complete till you use this word Bhaga, Tyaga, Lakshana, which means learn to drop your three sharirams as an Atma, hold on to Atma. Similarly, take the Prapancha, drop the gross Prapancha, the subtle Prapancha, the causal Prapancha, hold on to that pure consciousness, which is the existence portion. And then you see there is oneness between consciousness and existence.
When I was studying Mandukya Upanishad, like mantra 2 was very, very hard to understand for me to even, like, it's easy to state, it's very hard to understand exactly what the implications are. But reading the Bhashyam, mantra 3, if you just accept mantra 2, just accept it, even on belief or faith, then and then if you read mantra 3 where it says that, the first quarter is Veshvanara, it's the external consciousness. Straight away there's a contradiction in that mantra 2 implies oneness, implies there should be no experience, nothing to see, it's all you. What is there to see other than you? What is there to experience other than you as the Karana Brahman? But mantra 3, you can identify with, you can relate to. So if you just accept mantra 2, then mantra 3, which kind of goes in line with our normal day-to-day experience, it shows that there's something, there's a contradiction there, there's a gap in understanding. So it kind of makes you wonder, and it continues like that until you get to mantra 7, which says that you can drop everything that you were told in mantra 3's onwards, and all you're left with is actually mantra 2. the Mahavakya mantra too. That
Correct.
that
That's
that
right.
was my understanding.
Good, good, very good, Bharat. Very deep. I appreciate your knowledge on Mandukya Upanishad. Well done. Uh, good. Anybody else has any other question? These portions are very interesting. Uh, even if you just listen to it, good. Just listen, let it go through your mind, and as you grow, as you listen more and more, all this will make sense. See, when you come to the seventh mantra, you will say, oh, now I understand that all the waking, dream, and sleep is nothing but the pure consciousness. See, the structuring of this Mandukya Upanishad is beautiful, and Shankaracharya's Bhashyam is brilliant. There's no word to express our gratitude to understand this Upanishad only because of his commentary. Okay, I will close now, and we will continue our study next week. Thank you. Namaste. Good night.
Namaste.
Thank you,
Thank
Shekhar. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste.
you.
Thank
Hari
you.
Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om.